All right. Hey, we are live. Happy Monday. It is October. Can you believe it? It is October. We're broadcasting to you from beautiful Plymouth, Massachusetts. Jack Gately from Jack Gately Real Estate and the Online Real Estate Academy. Thank you so much for joining us this morning on what is most definitely, I'm looking out at the sky today, blue sky. It's going to be a little warm today and tomorrow for October in New England. So I'm really glad to be with you. You know, when I came into the office today, I was looking over the news and I was like, oh, what are we going to talk about in today's show? And then boom, we have big news. Redfin announcing this morning that they are quitting the National Association of Realtors. Redfin quitting the National Association of Realtors. That is big news in a blog post, which I always check their website. They got some interesting documents there, but in a blog post done by Glenn Kelman, who is the CEO of Redfin. And, you know, I've had as you know, I've made a number of videos about Redfin recently. They've been a little bit struggling because they're a volume business and there's not a lot of volume in the marketplace right now. In fact, we're going to talk about that later in today's show. But that, and you know, I've been like, they're floundering a little bit, right, or a lot. But now they are making huge news with this whole realtor association scandal situation. Let's dive into the blog post by Kelman. The following is a letter from Redfin's leadership team. Redfin is moving to end our support for the National Association for two reasons. NAR policies requiring a fee for the buyer side agent on every listing. And that's, of course, the nut of the giant commission lawsuits is the buyer side fee, right? So they're splitting with NAR and siding with the plaintiffs on the commission lawsuits. And then two, a pattern of alleged sexual harassment, which of course we've covered significantly on this channel in regards to the more recent NAR problems with the alleged sexual harassment. So it's a long time coming. We've had meetings with NAR to explore compromises on the policies that would allow us to continue to support the association. Since Redfin Wine Initiative in 2017, we paid more than $13 million in dues in an effort to influence NAR to advocate blah, 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 blah. A pattern of alleged sexual harassment. We've already been uncomfortable with NAR's positions, and they've been calling for more accountability. Again, we've covered that significantly. In June of this year, Redfin resigned its seat on the NAR board, and I believe that was before the alleged sexual harassment scandals, but it was most likely due to the whole commission lawsuit thing. NAR still blocks sellers from listing homes that don't pay a commission to the buyer side agent, and it blocks websites like Redfin.com from showing for sale by owner listings alongside agent listed homes. Removing these blocks would be technically easy, and it would make our industry more consumer friendly and competitive. In other words, they're basically saying that NAR is hurting the Redfin business model. Redfin, this is the big part, will now require many of its agents to resign from NAR and subsequently from the consequent state board and local association. Understand that when you're a member of NAR, in most situations, there are some variables across the country, but in most situations, you're not only a member of NAR, the National Association, you're a member of the Massachusetts or your state association and your local association as well. It's like a threefer. Back to the letter. Now, after careful deliberation, Redfin will go further than resigning from the NAR board, requiring our brokers and agents to leave NAR everywhere we can. Most brokerage is only our loose affiliation of independent agents, and none of us want to impose a policy that could alienate any of the people who generate our revenue. Well, let me just tell you, come on in, the water's fine. As many of you know, I left the association. What is it? 4 or 5 years? I can't remember off the top of it. It's been like say 4 years. I'm going to say 4 years. And it's just great. It's great. Fortunately, here in Massachusetts, the MLS PIN, which covers all of Massachusetts and has a near monopoly in like 80% of the state, is not owned by the Realtor Association. Consequently, all I need to be is licensed to be a member there, and I don't have to prove that I'm a realtor, which, as you know, of course, is a antitrust violation, no matter how many times they say it isn't. They're tying the purchase of one thing to another, right? And yeah, right, it's an antitrust violation, clear cut. I mean, it's textbook antitrust violation. It just hasn't gotten to the point where it's gotten to. Although in one part of the country that has been proven the case, Florida, Georgia, someplace else, California. So I'm not a realtor. Very happy not being a realtor. Jack, what about the forms? I own my own forms. I own my own transaction forms. I own them. So, yeah, we developed them and we own them. So I don't need NAR or the Massachusetts Association or the Greater Boston. I don't need any of those people. And let me tell you, Redfin, come on in. The water's just fine. NAR has forced a all or nothing choice. But this is an all or nothing approach isn't of Redfin's choosing. NAR's rules require us to leave local and state associations, even when our only beef is with the National Association. The rules require that for a broker to be a member, they must pay dues for each of their agents under their supervision, or have the agents pay it, regardless of whether the agent wants to be a member or not. So those of you who are not in the real estate business, if the broker of record is a member of the association, then all the agents who work there must also be. Yeah, but it's not a monopoly or an antitrust violation. No, don't you even think about that. The rules further say that if a broker isn't a member, so the inverse is also true, no agent under her supervision can be a member. So we choose nothing. We've had it. We're out. This is the best news I've heard from Redfin for a long time. This is like eating at a restaurant. I like this analogy. This is like eating at a restaurant that requires you to buy food for your entire family, even when you come in alone. Excellent analogy. And that also says no family member can dine there if you ever stop dining there too. The painful choice is to stop patronizing that restaurant altogether, which is what Redfin is announcing. But in many markets, the Realtor Association, purposely now mispronouncing it just to piss you people off that think that's the most important thing about this video. The Realtor Association also owns the MLSs in many situations, not here in Massachusetts, as I discussed, or at least most of Massachusetts. So we can't quit NAR individually or in mass because NAR membership is required for agents to access listing databases, lockbox, industry standard contracts, blah, 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 blah. It's impossible to be an agent if you can't see which homes are for sale or unlock the door. Right. So in some situations, they list some cities here, they won't be able to opt out. But everywhere else, and I imagine this definitely includes the vast majority of Massachusetts, everywhere else, NAR, they're out of here. We want NAR to decouple from the MLS and from NAR support. Oh, wow, there's another beautiful thing. I've never been so happy with Redfin. By the way, it's shocking to me how many agents out there think that Redfin is like Zillow, but it's not. Redfin's an agency which competes against you. We're asking NAR to decouple local access to these tools, including listing databases known as the multiple listing service. Agents shouldn't have to underwrite policies and legal efforts that hurt consumers. Ooh, this is harsh. We're committed to our industry's future. NAR isn't the future. Oh, man. We've tried to love NAR, but enough is enough. And this is signed by the executive team at Redfin. Well, again, I can't tell you. Welcome. The water is fine. I encourage as many other out there of you that can quit NAR and your local realtor association. Quit. Go right ahead. Quit. If you need the forms, and you're in Massachusetts, I'll work something out for you. All right. Yeah. So, but if you want to quit, I think it is time to quit. Which reminds me of this other article from Notorious ROB, Rob Hahn, who just posted this in the last couple of days here or so. No, I don't want to sign in. I just want to continue reading. Let's see here. Where he basically, once again, called for, and I think he's been calling this for since 2016, according to this post on his Substack, divorcing the MLS from the association is without question the most important step of any kind to reform NAR. That's from Rob Hahn from his Substack, which I think was posted just yesterday. It's almost as if he knew that the Redfin news was coming this morning. I'm just glowing with glee. I couldn't be happier. So good for Redfin, and I encourage the rest of you to jump on in and get out of the toxic, monopolistic, antitrust, driving consumer prices higher, limiting consumer choice conspiracy that is the National Association of Realtors. Get out while you can before you get sued, because if you think that all right, so this story, I noticed here that mortgage rates have dipped just a teeny bit from their peak of last week. Last week we're at 7.65 according to Mortgage News Daily. Now we're down at 7.44. And I don't think that dip is going to last very long, because now our 10-year is up. Ooh, this is not good. The 10-year is up to 4.631. Remember when I told you that resistance was 4.34? And once we got through 4.34, on the way to 8% mortgage rates is what I told you. Why is that? Because notwithstanding the infinite wisdom of the Federal Reserve, we still have a massive overspending problem by the federal government. And when we're overspending, we are running deficits. We have to borrow money to fund that deficit. And consequently, that means that there's more money. There's more money chasing. More people need to borrow. The demand to borrow, including that from the federal government, means that you're now, if you want a mortgage, you have to compete against the federal government, because the federal government is running massive deficits. Also, as we covered on this channel, the federal government most likely is going to have to refinance some of its debt, a lot of its debt, actually, in the next, 12 months or something like that. And it's extremely likely that we're going to see higher for longer. In fact, even much more likely we're going to see much higher for longer. So don't be surprised if interest rates go up to 8%. I mean, it's totally possible. I know that for those of you who are, under 40 or under 35, you've never seen rates like that. And it's like, how can that possibly be? Let me tell you, it can happen, right? So I was, when I was a kid, interest rates were 18%. I remember it. Yeah. So it can come back. And it appears that if it's on its way back. Our economic calendar for this week is all about jobs. I've been watching this channel long enough. You've heard me say that everything really depends upon the labor market here. And Tuesday, we have job openings. Wednesday, we have ADP employment number. That will be interesting. Thursday, the weekly initial jobless claims. And, of course, the big number is Friday at 8:30 a.m., which is the monthly employment number, which, if I'm not mistaken, every every month this year, it's come out and then it's been revised. So we'll see if it's actually gonna be like a real thing this year. Last week, or this month, I should say, probably not. There'll probably be a revision from last month. Last week, I should say, we had a situation where pending home sales, or in August or September, I should say, went down. Pending home sales went down. And on this channel a couple of days ago, I did a report about inventory here in Massachusetts and how it had crept up. And I have the final numbers month over month. So this is comparing September 1st to October 1st for Massachusetts. And here are the numbers. As of yesterday in Massachusetts, single-family homes, we had 4,529 single-family homes on the market as of yesterday. A month before, on September 1st, we had 3,694. So I'm going to round those numbers off. We went from 3,700 homes to 4,500 homes. That's an increase of 800, Bueller. And yeah, a 22% increase in the inventory of single-family homes in Massachusetts. That is proportionally a huge increase. 22% increase in the inventory of single-family homes in Massachusetts in 30 days. Now, again, the 4,500 number is still historically on the low side. If we went back a decade ago, back to 2013, we'd have 18,000 homes or more on the market. So the number historically is still skewed to the low side, but that is a big jump in 30 days. Now, having said that, you usually do have an increase of homes at this time of year. But compared to the most recent years, the last 2 years, the baseline for that is higher now. And usually you don't see that much of a jump in just 30 days. You might see that over the course of the fall, but not in 1 month. Not in 1 month. That is a huge increase in 1 month. We'll have to keep an eye on where that goes. I think we're going to see the number creep up as interest rates creep up. And effectively, we're looking at a market here where people can't afford to sell because they don't want to get a 7.5% mortgage rate, and they already got they get 4.2 now. So to buy something smaller actually is the same payment that they have in the big house. Why move? Right? And then people can't afford the 7.5% mortgage, so that hurts buyers. And as a result, nothing moves. I definitely think that we're moving. And if you're an agent in this marketplace, I just definitely think you want to think about this. We're moving to a type of market where there's going to be fewer and fewer transactions. Or, we're not, if I want to say that a different way, we're not going to instantly move to a marketplace where there's a boatload of transactions. So, adapt. And again, if you heard me say this before, you should be focusing all of your marketing efforts towards sellers. Buyers are still fine for now, but if it was me, I would be marketing completely and absolutely towards sellers. And whatever buyers I picked up along the way, okay, fine. But sellers is where it's at. It's always been sellers. Marketing towards sellers has always been your better strategy. As Gary Keller from Keller Williams say, sellers, if you get a listing, it almost always begets another listing. I think that's one of his famous quotes, because you get the lawn sign, you get the open house, all those other good things. So working with sellers is a way to grow your business. And now more than ever, that is true. All right, I'm Jack from Jack Gately Real Estate and the Online Real Estate Academy. Thank you so much for watching today. I think we had a number of viewers today. Thank you so much. And we'll see you again tomorrow. Hopefully we'll have equally good and big news. You have a great day. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.